Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Library of Ruina. So essentially what happened in the last video was we pretty much learned that spending 2,000 years on a train that's closed off to the world makes people go crazy. And yeah, we did see some very disturbing images, none of which I want to remember. But anyway, we did sort out that whole mess, so that's good. Also, we ranked up to Urban Nightmare. Now, this is where it gets really difficult and technical, and the challenges just skyrocket. So, before we get into the next invitation, I do want to mention, in the last episode, because we leveled up, I did kind of show you the passive changes I made for the Netzach Cruise deck, but I didn't get to show you what my firing squad's new passives are like. So pretty much for the first three characters, literally, we already got the speed and Leeway's concentration, but we've also added Meow's ability Meow Meow, which at the start of the act gives a strength to 2 random allies, which is pretty good for this deck. You want as much strength and power as possible, for, at least for the first turn, because the aim of this deck is to pretty much win as quickly as possible. And also Oinky Oink from the Oink page, which gives a feeble to 2 random enemies. So while Meow Meow strengthens you, Oinky Oink disadvantages your opponent. So that's not just for the one key page. Pretty much all 3 passives from the first 3 Librarians are all the same. However, because of the fact that both Leeway and Meows, we only can have access to 3 of their key pages, we had to think a bit outside of the box for the 4th Librarian. So for this one, what I've done is I've gone with Blind Fire, which is Stefan's key page, which just gains 2 power for the first scene, so it ups our strength even more. And we continued with the Oinks page with Oinky Oink, because all pages that are in blue, you actually get access to 4 of them instead of 3. All of the purple pages, you only get access to 3. And so that's what our firing squad looks like for the moment. But anyway, let's tackle our first nightmare challenge. Here we go. So we gotta put it in the book of Sayo and the book of the Kuma clan. Let's see what we get. Oh, okay. It's the sweepers. We've heard about the sweepers, but this is the first time actually seeing them. And they're speaking in numbers? Oh, great conversation, guys. I totally know what you're saying. 0100101100100112. Did I get it right? Ah, 742186743110. Oh, 4210876. Hey, 021784. Can we get a translator on this thing? I mean, Doctor Who has a translating system. I feel like we should have one too. This is essentially Doctor Who, but in library format. Oh wow, well, why didn't you say so earlier, Angela?
Huh? あれくらいの分で言語単位での解析ができるって？
私だからできるのよ。
And of course she has to be smug about it. She's like, yeah, I am that top computer intelligence. That's better.
夜中に家族がまともに食事できる場所がだんだんと少なくなっているということを知っています。
最近エルシャの巣で食事をしようとする家族は霧のせいでまともに前を見ることが難しいと言っていました。道に迷って出てこれない家族もいると聞きました。
どうして母に話さない？
母が知ればきっと人差し指と大きな戦いを覚悟すると思います。ただ、家族の血を
I'm
覚悟する
intrigued to see who
ほど
the
状況は
mother
確かではありま
sweeper
せん。
is. She must be crazy because, like, from what we know of the sweepers, a lot of people fear them.
もし人差し指が本当に裏切ってその事実を後から母が知れば、多くの家族は飢えて少しずつ死ぬでしょう。
Because these things are essentially nocturnal. It's why, like, a lot of people don't go out at night.
食べ物が減れば
Less food.
母も家族を増やしにくいです。
私たちみんなそれぞれの家と家族、そして子供たちがいます。何もしないわけではありません。もう少し慎重に乗ろうということです。
Yeah, honestly, I don't like the way the sweepers talk. Even though we understand what they're saying, it almost sounds like broken English.
虫けらのようなシャニクサイが1週間前に私たちの兄弟の家に攻め入ってきて家族を平らげたことを知ってるじゃないですか。
Wow, okay.
5日前には弟の家に
And
狼
then
の時間がやってき
the wolf is
て
back.
家族2人が無残に殺されました。
So while there is an abundance of sweepers, they seem to be easy to kill. I mean, even the carnival got their fill.
3日前には人差し指の代行者が隣人たちを八つ裂きにしたじゃないですか。2日前には人形師が私の子供たちを連れて行きました。
Puppeteer. Wow, these are some like... Except for the carnival people, because we already off them good. The other three seem like big hitters, though.
知ってます。しかも全て夜の時間に起こったことを知ってます。昔とは違うということです。これ以上この巣の夜は私たちだけの時間ではないということを知っています。母もご存知でしょう。私たちの居場所がもっと必要だということも知ってます。
それなら
ことが大きくなるほど私たちの家が小さくなっていくんです。人差し指と完全な争いに突入すると私たちの時間は少なくなります。
どう解決するのですか？
図書館です。私たちは
Excuse me? We have nothing to do with your lost family members.
親指と人差し指の部下たちの本が図書館にあることを私は知っています。
I was gonna say I don't think that's true, but then I remembered we defeated the Kurikumo clan. And Sayo was a part of the thumb.
招待状を受け取りましたか？
そうです。人差し指が私たちの母と家族を見捨てたのか。加えてエルシャで食事をする家族の悩みを解決することもできるでしょう。
その事実を知っ
I'm kind of interested to see what these things look like without their masks on. Are they like completely alien? Or are they like Tali from Mass Effect, where it's like humanary features with maybe some differences? With some like bug-like apparitions?
おじさんの気持ちはわかります。
That's his uncle? I mean, this guy dwarfs him.
隣人を呼ぶようにしましょう。一緒に図書館へと行きましょう。出発する前に子供たちには戸締まりをしっかりするよう伝えておきましょう。私たちの母、隣人、家族、子供は私たち親の手で守るようにしましょう。
うわ、本当に掃除屋が来るのか？
Yeah, I'm not happy about it either. They're just gonna mess up the carpet.
掃除屋が夜じゃない時に目的を持ってどこかに行くって？あんなに流暢に話し合いながら？
面白いわね。私はもう少し能天気かと思ってたわ。
俺通訳を雇って会話をしたことがあるんだけど、その時はあいつら単語でしか話せないかと思ったんだよ。でもあのくらいに完成された文が喋れるなんてな。高い金払って任せたってのに、完全に
He was a scammer
だってことが。
Damn that interpreter.
それであの掃除屋というのは全員家族なの？
お互いの絆を深めるため適当に抽象的な単語で呼んでるんだろうな。あいつらも血が繋がってるわけじゃないはずだ。
They have this mother.
組織の故障っていうのはそういう
He
もん
says
だ。
they foster them. Let's hope it's like fostering and not actual like by birth, because from what we've been hearing, there seems to be like thousands, if not billions of these things. No matter how many you kill, more just show up. I don't even know where they come from. Are they even human or alien?
昔
I don't know.
外角と裏路地の子供を誘拐するって聞いたわ。
掃除屋についてはあんまり深入りしない方がいいと思うな。
What, so they turn the
裏
kids
路地だ
into
けじゃ
more
なく
sweepers?
外角まで掃
Or
除
do
屋
they
がう
eat
じゃうじゃ
them?
いるから、君が得ようとしてる自由ともあんまり関係なさそうだし。
隣人の皆さん、ここが図書館です。裏路地のゴミたちが最近やかましいくらい騒いでた図書館です。
私たちも図書館に。
歓迎いたします。ゲストの。
はじめまして。あなたが家族ですか？
Are they complete idiots? Really? They can't tell the difference between a family member or not?
家族なわけがあると思うんです。
Does she look like she's wearing a creepy mask? No, then she isn't.
でも家族の言葉を。
家族同士なら話すことができます。
Oh, okay, I understand now. They haven't been informed of our translating technology.
最近はゲストの目線に合わせて話そうとしてるんですよ。
簡単しました。驚きました。隣人の皆さん見てください。図書館はどのような場所とも異なります。
I'm honestly surprised the sweepers are like well mannered. From what I've heard, I thought they were gonna be like savages or something.
喋れます。今まで家族ではないものとまともに話したことがありませんでした。
家族。
Yes, can you please just get in there so we can kill you guys already?
大事です。家族は。
ごめんなさい。私たちはただここにある本を手に入れに来、そしてこの巣を囲んでいるキリモです。
本をご覧になればわかるでしょう。
そうです。手に入れようとする本さえ得れば終わりです。
いいわ。あなたの本が見つかりますように。
All right. Okay, so I need to explain this. So, the sweeper themselves aren't that difficult. Where they become difficult is in not who they are, but kind of the amount of them that there are. So as you can see, for starters, it's a 5 against 4. On top of that, we have to face 3 acts of them. And so pretty much their strength is their numbers. That's why it's imperative, at least in my mind, that we take the firing squad into this battle. So we can kill as many as possible, as quickly as possible, so we don't get overrun by these guys. Alright. So you pretty much just want to go 1-to-1. Unfortunately, since there's a number disadvantage, you can't attack all of them at once. What you're aiming for is to at least get them staggered so you can defeat them the turn after. Alright, there we go. Yeah, like they go down so easy. They're pretty much weak to a lot of things as well, so yeah, just as long as you bring in like people that are high damage dealers, you shouldn't have an issue. The only reason why I'm taking my firing squad into this battle is because since we're ranged pages, we tend to go before them. And so usually you shouldn't really have much trouble until maybe you get to the final act where you actually have to face named characters. Like, I think they were called Valerie, Lyle, and Anton. Alright, there we go. Oh, also, yes, I forgot to mention, sometimes these sweepers have an annoying ability where when they die, they have like a second wind where some of their health comes back. So you kind of gotta like kill them a second time. Yeah, so pretty much, even though like the odds look, I guess, menacing, a good old firing squad should pretty much take care of them. Even if it doesn't and like they somehow just kill you, you still have a second floor that you can use that can pretty much just clean up the rest. Alright, now we gotta attack Act 2. Just gonna continue with it. Like, the only annoyances these guys serve, in my honest opinion, is if like, let's say you're doing the battle and you don't end up getting one of like the books of like Lyle or Anton, and you have to kind of go back and kind of have to redo this battle. It's more of a grind than anything, but since we have the mod, we shouldn't need to do that unless we just flat out don't get their books in the first place. As for the sweepers combat pages, they actually have pretty decent combat pages, especially the main three in Lyle, Anton, and Valerie, because they have like two different ones. One's called Health Hauler, and one's called Mind Hauler, where you can pretty much revive. Like every time you do an attack, you pretty much suck up some health. And so, yeah, those combat pages will probably come in handy at a later point. Alright, we just got one left to go here. And there we go, that should do it. And now, finally, we get onto the main attraction, which is the main dudes. Yeah. But even then, like, it's not that difficult. They're still pretty easy to take out. So again, nothing really changes here. You just go 1-to-1. And there we go. Yeah, I have nothing else to really say about this battle. It's not bad. Like, usually, like, battles like this where it's like, where it's quantity over quality, those battles tend to kind of be like the easiest type of battles. It's the ones that like drag on and have ridiculous, finicky kind of gimmicks. It's like usually like those ones are the hardest. Alright, we just got Valerie to go. Thank God, I was actually starting to get a bit nervous about maybe running out of combat pages. But we should still have enough. And there we go. Pretty simple.
もうくったくただよ。掃除屋がしぶといってことは常識なんだよな。
どういう取引をしたらあそこまで必死になれるのかしら。
狭まる掃除屋の居場所の問題を解決するために取引をしようとしたのは分かったよ。
もっと知れるかしら。
それは俺もよく分かんないな。招待状の導くままに行
Yeah,
け
we
ば
just
分か
gotta
る。
follow the invitations. We'll probably get our answers
そ
eventually.
れにしてもなんでそんなに掃除屋に執着するんだ。
何か匂うのよ。
掃除屋の匂いはほんとやばいんだよな。
Well, they do drink blood for a living, so...
特にあのプンプン匂う包帯でご飯3杯は
頭湧いてるの。
冗談も言えないのか。
Just wait, Roland. When she gets more of those human emotions, then we'll just make her crack up. We'll teach her the joys of laughter.
まあ館長様がここまで強くおっしゃったことはないですし、気を使って悪いこともないか。
I would try to say if she's ticklish, but I would fear that she will break my arms. Alright, seems like there's no new abnormalities, so we just continue with going to the next invitation.
部長、こんなことありえるんですか。
Ooh. Okay, I know this one. Yeah, it's this guy. Oh, I think it's a girl. Gives a really good combat page, but it does kind of have its drawbacks, which we will eventually see and find out.
静まれ。そして刻め。金と名誉、 そして力が全ての世界だ。
いくら特色とはいえ、ここの所属ではないフィクサー1名が教会を相手にできるというのは深刻な問題です。それもこんな露骨に。
だから教会に背を向けて支部長のセルマと青い残響まで殺して。
Hey, it's Thelma. Remember Thelma? He was in contact with the Blue Reverberation.
方法すら見えてこないよ。しかも
Smiling
カブキにまで
faces.
関係があるって。
腐りきってる。部長、死の道理と主体性はどこに行ったんですか？
覆したいのなら待て。そして力をつけろ。今の状態ではいかなることもできないから。
部長の言う通り、今は何もできない。
くそ、俺たちが今どんな状況に陥ってるか知ってながらずっと放っておいてるってことじゃないですか。
部長はいつか市の教会長になるはずだから、その時が来ればこの
Oh,
局面を
Tenma, I'm sorry to say, it seems like that dream is about to come to an end. And this is kind of one of like the few, I guess, invitations that I do actually feel sorry for them, because like they did nothing wrong. They're kind of like, their job kind of like forces them to get into all these battles. I mean, like, look at all the injuries. Both of them are missing eyes. They're like scars all over their bodies. They're being overworked. They seem like good people. And it's just because of one asshole branch manager that sends these 3 people to their deaths. It's kind of a shame, really.
私たちニカは与えられた仕事を処理すれば済むことだ。
部長、それでもニカは10日連続で
10
年悪夢中の事件を処理
consecutive
しました。
days.
奈落会組長の排除、忘却の仲介の回収、
The Raku
彼
clan,
方のかけらの破壊、
Oblivion Ingots,
ハラミ工場の爆破、
Fragment from
中
Beyond,
鉄兄弟の隊長の排除まで。
Thin Beef Skirt Factory. Excuse me? The captain of the Steel Comrades.
この依頼はすべて10日以内にまともな休憩も
Oh
取れ
yeah,
ない
they're
ので処理して
definitely
おいて
overworked. They're on their last legs.
本来なら1週間に1件担当するのが正常です。
南部支部2課の大多数が死亡しました。それに俺たちを含めて生き残った人員は誰も仕事に取り組める状態ではありません。心も体も崩れ落ちる寸前じゃないですか。傘下と協力事務所も無理な依頼の暴走で全滅しました。
何よりユジン部長の状態もあまり良くないじゃないですか。犠牲者を出さないため誰よりも前に出て激しい乱闘を繰り広げられましたから。
壊れた場所は直して開いた場所は縫えばそれでいい。
I mean, like, look at that scar like runs over her entire face. That had to hurt.
部長のその傷は一晩で回復する程度のものではありません。それだけでなくニカには誰一人として一晩で回復できる人員がいません。経営者の得意点でなければ。
お前たち本当に心配事が多いな。今度の図書館も今まで通り片付ければいいんだ。
ユジン部長、今回の件を片付けられたとしてもまたとんでもない仕事を渡してくるはずです。
バレンティンの言う通りです。ニカが全滅して部長が死ぬまで仕事は絶えずやってくるでしょう。
私にも考えがある。結局問題の
Yeah, the
根
blue
源は
reverberation.
青い残響だろうな。図書館に行くのは単に上層部からの命令というだけではない。今回の任務はブレーメンの音楽隊の本の回収、青い残響の陰謀を探り当てるために必要な本。
どういうことですか？
少し前ブレーメンの音楽隊という組織の代表と思わしき者が青い残響と出会い会話をしたという目撃証言が入ってきた。
ブレーメンの音楽隊の本に青い残響に関する話が書かれてるかもしれないということですか？
少なくとも何を起こそうとしているかについては読めるだろう。
じゃあ終止符事務所を
So it seems like the blue reverberation has some sort of plot of brewing.
意味は分かりました。ただその方法を手に入れたからといって何か計画でもあるのでしょうか？
今回の件を終わらせて私なりの措置を取るつもりだ。
部長、信じてもいいんですよね？それはニカを守るために自らを犠牲にするような方法じゃないんですよね？
部長の解決方法はいつもそうであったから。
信じろ。私も自分の命の重さは分かっている。結局生き残らないと変えられない。まずまだ動ける奴らだけ集めろ。まともに力が出せない者は足手まといだ。
わかりました。
相変わらずバカ正直な性格してるな。
あなた本当に大したことないフィクサーなの？ここまで来ればあなたの人脈が平凡なフィクサーのとは違うってことは私にだってわかるわ。
まず質問に答えるなら救急フィクサーで合ってる。単に色々と事情があって土底辺に落ちぶれたんだ。ただのありふれたフィクサーだった。
Yeah, it does feel like Roland seems to know a lot of important people. Too many, in fact, to probably just be like some no-name fixer.
そう。
He's got those
じゃあラン
connections,
ク
you
は
know?
何だったの？
なんと一流の一級フィクサーって言えば信じてくれるのか？
Grade 1. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised.
正直信じがたいけど。
Oh, come on, we don't look that
あなた
incompetent,
が
do
そう
we?
言うならそうなんでしょうね。
素直に信じてくれるとか意外だな。俺はただ情報を収集する平凡なフィクサーだった。だから顔が広いだけだ。今こうやって戦えているのは君がくれた体と図書館の力のおかげだし。
こんな仕事には信頼が大事だって言ったじゃない。知り合いが死んでも大丈夫なの？
確かにあの状況は気の毒だな。だけどな、俺たちが見たのはあいつらの立場だけだ。あいつらも生きたいってあがいたり、何かを変えようと思って争った誰かを殺してないとでも思うのか？
殺したでしょうね。
そういうこと。あいつらにも殺された誰かも同じように気の毒な理由があったはずだ。まあそうじゃないかもしれないけど、とにかくみんなが幸せになれる道はない。観点の違いってだけだ。
だからお互いを知ろうともせずに任された仕事をこなすだけなのね。
みんなそれぞれ積もる話はあるだろうし、ただ誰かの話のせいで自分の話を諦められないってことだ。それはそれでこれはこれだから。
できる限りの応急処置は施しました。
部長、
Do we really have to do this? I feel really bad.
今はこれだけに集中しろ。できることから片付ける。
Can't we just keep them? You know, they can just quit their jobs, turn them into some librarians. You know, they're really competent fighters.
歓迎いたします、ゲストのお方。
It's like we don't need their books.
いやあ、私は C ニカ部長の友人だ。みんな挨拶しろ。
はい。でも
挨拶されたら返事をするべきじゃないか？
はい。私はシ・ニカ直属フィクサー。
シ・ニカ直属フィクサー、バレンティンです。
私は図書館の館長兼司書のアンジェラです。
ここにあるという本を手に入れるため招待状を通じてきた。
はい。どうかあなたの本が見つかりますように。
Oh boy. Alright, so we're gonna go into this battle with Netzach. Now, you probably already realized, but as you can see, they don't start with full health. That is because of all their previous battles has kind of like damaged them immensely, so they're not at full strength. And that also includes the the three main guys as well. But not only does it include it into them, it also continues onto their combat pages. Now, I mentioned earlier, Eugen's combat page is really good. In fact, it probably would have been one of the best combat pages in the entire game had there not been drawbacks to it. There are a lot of drawbacks to her combat page. Because of like the damage that she's taken, here, it kind of transfers to her combat page. And what I mean by that is that, so for example, her health in the combat page is actually like 264, which is crazy good. The issue being though, is that she only starts battles with like 60 to 70 of that health instead of the 200. So she's pretty much like, she pretty much starts with like minus, I don't know if it's like 80 to 90% of the health that she's supposed to have. Instead of having over 200 health, she only has like 60 to 70 health. On top of that, she actually has she actually starts with 3 speed dice instead of the usual 2 that everyone else has. But one of those speed dice is permanently broken, which is probably the biggest negative to her combat page, because that means that opponents can literally target her broken speed die so they can pretty much one-side her in the battle, which is like really annoying. Also, another thing is that I believe Eugen gets inflicted with self-bleed at the start of battle. So on top of starting with like low health, she also like self-bleeds every turn, so her health is like constantly getting drained all the time. And so as I've mentioned, like there's a lot of like negatives that come with her combat page. Even though like the combat page is like really good, but even though like her combat page, there are some issues with it, it's probably still the best combat page we will have access to up until this point. But I will also say it's probably not a combat page you want to have like in the end game, just because of like the self-sabotage aspect of her combat page. And so we will end up using her combat page eventually, or I should say like probably in the immediate future, but long term I will probably be looking to replace her with a better combat page that doesn't self-sacrifice. Because while Eugen is really good, she tends to die really quickly. It's sort of similar with the G-Can combat page. It's pretty much the reason why I didn't... It's pretty much the reason why I didn't use G-Can's combat page when we got access to it, for the same reason. Because of like the self-sabotaging aspect. So as you see here, she can have over 200 health, but she starts with 87. Which is a damn shame. And so also, as I said, she starts with 3 combat die, but one's permanently broken. And so yeah, there are positives and negatives to her combat page. But just because I've like been like talking about all the negatives doesn't mean there aren't positives. Like, she's like really strong as a whole, and she can like do a lot of damage, especially because of the self-bleed she inflicts on herself. You can kind of like create builds that kind of take advantage of that, where like the more, like for example, you can do more damage if you have a status salmon on you, or like the more bleeds that you stack on yourself, you can do more damage and stuff like that. So there are ways to kind of take advantage of it. You would probably want to avoid her in battles that are long and drawn out, just because of like the fact that she will die easily. Like, the best way to pretty much describe her is like glass cannon. As for the other combat pages you can get, you know, like Tenma and stuff, like, don't even bother. They pretty much suffer the same things as Eugen. The only difference being is they're nowhere near as good as Eugen. Like, Eugen would literally be the best combat page in the game had these negative aspects of her combat page were not present. Pretty much just want to get rid of Eugen, and now we can just do with the other two. There we go. Man. I love the drawing power of Salvador's deck. It's so good. Alright, we've almost got them down. there we go. So as you can see, like, you know, like the decks that we're building, like, are pretty good, and they do kind of complement each other because they kind of like stack upon stack with like different endowments and stuff. It's pretty good. I tend to just like use firing squad a lot because it's just easier, like it's like a lot quicker and stuff. This, it's like you gotta like take time, like, and actually like strategize and who you go after and stuff. And sometimes it's just like the breeze through opponents. Poor Eugen. She's gone way too soon.
知り合いのフィクサーがいるのか？
カーリーって知ってるかしら？
Carly.
カーリー？
赤い霧って呼ばれてたと思うのだけ
The
ど。
Red Mist.
当たり前だろ。特色の中でも一番異質なやつだったよ。
Okay, it seems like this Carly was a big deal.
いいとこばっか持ってっていつの間にか消えたのに。
All the cool stuff.
昔の職場の同僚だった。とだけ言っとくわ。
赤い霧は強かった。本当に文字通り強いとしか言いようがないくらいにな。しかも自分のためじゃなくて誰かのための依頼しか受けなかったからな。あんなに強ければああやってもいいのかって思ったくらいだ。言語の会担当。名前が。
We've unlocked a new librarian, and that librarian is
Gebura だ。
Alright, everyone. I would like to introduce you to my favorite librarian of this entire game, Gebura. Not only is she awesome, she's actually one of she's special. And not only is she special, she has a special she gets access to a special combat page and special cards that she can only be the one to have access to. And she's only one of 2 librarians that have this feature. But I just love everything about Gebura. I think she's awesome. I love her personality. She's really powerful as well. She's just essentially an all-around, all in all, out and out amazing character. And I just love how when she's introduced, she immediately just blows smoke into Roland's face. Yeah, take that, you smoker Roland, you.
タバコの匂い。熱赤はグイグイやってて、お前はスパスパやってるんだな。
心置きなくタバコを吸える。この体の時に存分に吸っとかないと。お前はアンジェラを手伝ってるローランだな。
ああ、さっき目覚めたばかりだろうによく知ってるな。
眠った感じはしないんだよな。夢でも見てるような感じで。今までの図書館での出来事を見たからぐっすり寝れた感じでもないというか。
状況は大体把握してるってことか。
お前フィクサーだって？
Yep.
ああ、救急フィクサーだけど。
嘘つけ。何のつもりだ？アンジェラは素直に騙されたんだろうけど、私は騙せないからな。
何言ってるんだ？俺たち知り合いだっけ？
私も最初の人生でそれなりにフィクサー家業をやっててな。ざっと見れば格付けがわかるんだ。お前は少なくともお粗末な救急フィクサーじゃない。事故でも起こして降格されたのか？
外でいろいろと事情があってさ。
I'm intrigued to see what Roland did to get himself demoted, because I feel like it must have been something huge if he was an awesome fixer and then he just got demoted all the way down to 9.
救急フィクサーってのは嘘じゃないんだ。
I swear on my missing grandma, I am a grade 9 fixer.
どういうつもりかは知らんが、私がいる以上、下手なことはやらかさない方がいいと思うぞ。
ああ、大層ご立派な心意気で、最初から変なことやるつもりもなかったんだが。
大事故にあった身なんだし、目をつけとかないとな。口先ばかりの大嘘つきかもしれないし。話はこれくらいにしておこうか。お前が私に本を渡してくれるんなら言語に関してまとめておくから。
おい、そんな口叩いてるってことはさぞかしお偉かったんだろうな。何級だったんだよ。
赤い霧。
That's right, everyone. This is the red mist that Angela was talking about.
赤い霧だと。
That's right.
そんな。
Roland just
Hello.
met his role model in the flesh. Alright, so I have to say this. Gebura herself is great, but unfortunately, because we don't have access to her special combat page yet, it's probably not really advised to use her floor at the moment. Now, as you see, her abnormality is unlocked at the moment, but we're actually not going to be doing that yet because, well, firstly, I just want to burn all the books so we get access to all of this. And then there we go. So, like, if you can see, like, Eugen's page, it looks incredible. But then you notice, like, for example, if you look at Eye of Death Innovation, all dice gain 4 power, but then they lose 3 power, which essentially means it just gains 1 power. And then there are, like, also things where it's like, you have 3 speed dice, but one's broken. You literally start with only 10% of the normal health. Now, for me, Eugen's combat page, in my opinion, is honestly actually best served and used on Malkuth's floor, because Malkuth has certain ways to actually up your health. Because on top of adding passives like Health Hauler to up Eugen's health, Malkuth also has Gluttony as well, which also allows you to gain some health. So we're probably going to be switching the floors around. I'll probably, like, in the next video, we'll be using a different floor for my firing squad. But that's going to be next episode. Same with Gebura's abnormality. Now, this is actually a really difficult abnormality. But that is actually also going to be saved for next episode. Because what we're actually going to be doing now is we're going to be doing more general invitations. I just want to see so I don't accidentally. So I don't use a sweeper. And okay. I just don't want to accidentally go into the next book, go into the next story thing. Alright, so this is a 7 associated fixer page. So yeah, we're just pretty much gonna go in with our firing squad. Now there's actually, the reason why we're doing this now is because we can actually get access to another really good combat page as well. On top of that, some of these combat, some of the cards you get from the books are actually really good. Like there's this one called, I think it's called like Moulet. It's like some sort of French word. Like, I forget what the French word that means to cut. It's like the French word that means to cut. I forget what it's called, but it's actually really good. It's like Moulet. So we want to get access to all of these cards and combat pages. Now, before we get into the harder battles in the Urban Nightmare section. Oh, come on, really? Survived with 1 health. Yeah, just everyone go after this guy. Alright, so there was 2 acts to this, so we're about to get introduced into the 2nd act with main man Dante. So I don't really have much memory about Dante's combat page. I believe if my memory is correct, I believe his combat page is decent, but I personally preferred to use his passives for like other people than actually build up a deck for him. But other than that, I don't really have much memory or thought about Dante. The really good combat page is actually coming up soon. Yeah, and then we can just put them out of their misery. Yeah, that should ought to do it. Alright, so we're just gonna burn them books so we can get the Dante's combat page. And then we're gonna continue on. So pretty much, it's pretty simple where it's like, with the general invitations, it's pretty much one book, or like, the way it works is like, okay, you face this group by putting in 1 nightmare book. And then you face this group by putting in 2. And then you face this group by putting in 3. Ah, okay, so Bamboo Hatted Kim. Hold up a second. Does that mean we might not? I thought this was the 3. We might not actually get a 3-page general invitation. I guess this is it then. Yeah, so Bamboo Hatted Kim was the person I was talking about. Has a really good combat page. You can create some amazing decks with him. I personally like a really good high intensity slashing deck, so. But you can pretty much create like a lot of things. Also, another good thing about Bamboo Hatted Kim's combat page, he has the same ability as Oscar, Unrelenting. Which, if you don't know what Unrelenting is, when you get hit with Fatal for the entire turn, you don't take any damage. So that's also really good. So I will say this, the reason why I wanted to do this now is that now we have access to both Bamboo Hatted Kim and Eugen. I think my decks might, or like the builds that I'm using, might get changed quite dramatically. Or like the decks that I'm using might get like changed up dramatically. Like, I'll need to go through it within my time, probably off screen, and try to figure out which combat pages I want to use and which decks I want to build around them. Yeah, so unfortunately his Unrelenting activated. So we can't kill Bamboo-Hatted Kim this turn. Also, Bamboo-Hatted Kim does kind of have a lot of good cards, but most of them I don't really like that much. I prefer to like equip him with like kind of like more grounded cards that are really effective for each type of build. All right. Okay, so I was thinking about it, and you know what? Okay, I've decided, yeah, let's do it. So I'm not gonna like mess around. I'm gonna probably off screen building up those decks. It's like that will probably take me a while, and I kind of need to figure out like what actual builds I want for them. But I will probably do the Gebura abnormality. Now, this abnormality is actually really tricky. Now, there are two ways to do this battle. You can either do it now, which is pretty tricky, or you can wait until Gebura gets her own combat pages, which just makes the battle slightly easier, but still pretty difficult. But we're going to tackle this now. So what I'm probably going to do is, I'm probably just going to do one battle. I'm probably just going to do one battle with this abnormality now. And then if I fail, at least I'll just do it once, just show you what the abnormality is like and explain how it works. And then if I fail, I'll probably pick it back up, probably with my new builds and my new decks next time. So we're probably just gonna head into it now, and I'll explain how this works. Alright, okay, so this is how this battle works. Now, you have two characters. You have the evil Little Red Riding Hood, and you have the evil wolf. Now, the aim of this battle is you need the Little Red Riding Hood to be the one to kill the wolf. This is a must. If you don't have this character kill the wolf, if you end up killing the wolf in Little Red Riding Hood's stead, Little Red Riding Hood would get pissed off and pretty much attack you. Now, what happens when that happens is all the damage that Little Red Riding Hood would take in the battle pretty much gets restored, and so then you would literally have to face two really powerful enemies in one go. And especially at this stage, I'm not saying it's impossible, but definitely at this stage, it's impossible to try. Now, if you actually do succeed and have the Little Red Riding Hood kill the werewolf, then you actually win. And the Little Red Riding Hood is happy it avenged its grandma, so it doesn't need to take out its anger on you guys, on your characters. Now, another thing you need to concern yourself with is both characters unfortunately love, and I mean love to hit you with mass attack pages. And unfortunately, if you can try to maybe defend yourself from one of them, but unfortunately, they both try to mass combat page you at the same time. It's impossible to defend from both, so you're most likely going to get hit by one at some point. Also, the wolf. See, at least like the good thing about it is, for the most part, the wolf tends to focus his attack on the Little Red Riding Hood character, and vice versa. But when the mass attack combat pages comes in, it doesn't matter if you're technically on Little Red Riding Hood's side, his mass combat page will hit you. As well as the wolf. Also, another thing you need to concern yourself with is the wolf has a lot more health than Little Red Riding Hood, so you're just gonna want to focus everything on the wolf and hope Little Red Riding Hood takes it out before he gets taken out. So if Little Red Riding Hood dies before the battle, before the wolf does, it also counts as a defeat. Also, another thing is, unfortunately, the wolf has a lot of crazy cards. So, but at least like most of them, like they don't, I guess, they're not really directed at you, so. Alright, so what I'm gonna do here is burn, burn is really good. You kind of like want to stack some sort of endowments to kind of help whittle down the health. So we're gonna use burn along with flash of slump. Then we're gonna hit, yeah, so pretty much we're just gonna focus on the one attack. And so I've had a lot of trouble when I did this last time. I remember having a lot of trouble with this battle, not with the wolf himself, but with not being able to kill the wolf before the Little Red Riding Hood does. And so this might take a while. Yeah, also the wolf has a lot of counter and evade and block die as well, so it's pretty difficult. Alright, so we've inflicted that burn and we've disarmed him, which is pretty good. Okay. So again, the wolf is single-handedly targeting Little Red Riding Hood. Pretty much, you don't really need to concern yourself with Little Red Riding Hood unless the health gets pretty low. Yeah, also the wolf does have some attacks that almost heal himself, which also is kind of annoying. Alright, we've inflicted that fragile, which is good, so. Alright, so yes. This is where the mass attacks come into it. So yeah, we're being hit with both mass attacks at the same time. So the wolf's mass attack isn't that bad because it's only one attack. The mass attack that actually is a major problem is the Little Red Riding Hood, because okay, so not this mass attack, but he does another one later on that feels like he ends up just spamming it, which just gets really annoying. So pretty much you just want to block or defend against Hal. And just hope your combat dash is stronger. So we're going to do daring decisions and gamble. Here we go. Okay, Okay. Unfortunately, Gebura was able to evade, but we were able to block Little Red Riding Hood's combat page is pretty good. So at the moment, the combat page is like at least like the battle just gets tricky towards the end, because towards the end, not only do you have to be mindful of the health you deal, you also have to kind of be mindful of when Little Red Riding Hood goes and the damage that he'll do. Okay. Oh no, so we're gonna hit him with the spear and the man. Yeah. So as you can tell, like it's like very tricky. And what's annoying about it is you won't really know whether you're going to succeed or fail until like the wolf is like on his final legs. Yeah, it's this one. It's Bullet Shower. That's like the most annoying combat page he does. Because he spams the hell out of it. And unfortunately, I think he just... yeah, he staggered Gebura. And see, now he's going to spam it again. So pretty much Gebura's going to die. Alright, there we go. Yeah, so pretty much, I don't think I'm going to do this. I think... yeah, I just... because I only have one Librarian left, and I think he just got staggered. And Little Red Riding Hood's about to die. Yeah. I think I'll probably have a better go of this once I've like built Eugen. Oh, well, maybe not Eugen. I don't think Eugen would be... I don't think this is a battle Eugen would be useful in. Thank God for Salvador's unrelenting. But unfortunately, Little Red Riding Hood died and I was defeated. Yeah, so pretty much, I knew I probably wasn't going to win with the current builds and decks that I had. I'm probably going to have to figure something out. And so I just wanted to like at least like show you what the battle's like and how difficult it can be. But anyway, guys and girls, we're actually going to try and complete Gebura's abnormality next time. So thanks for watching, everyone. Have more parts out soon. If you liked the video, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, everyone. And see ya.